Hello, this is John, the bench fisherman. Finally back down in the workshop, been a few days. I got this really cool old, it's a 7000, not a C, not a C3, not any of those. It's just a C. Won it at auction. I'm going to clean it up and I'm going to fish with it. So, I've never took one of these reels apart. This will be a first for me. I've never owned anything bigger than a 6500, which I picked up one of those also. I've got a, it seems like it's a red Ambassador week, but I've got a 6000. This one is made January 05, and it's a revision 8. This reel is April of 1980, and it's the second revision because it's an 01. So 00 would be revision 1, and 01 would be a revision 2. So it's the second revision. So this is a pretty old reel. I was in, I guess I was in middle school. Back then we called it junior high. Middle school is something new for me anyway. But, never had one of these reels. Usually when I have a reel this size, it's I figured that wasn't gonna fit it. It would be a pin reel when I'd use something in that size. So find the right dadgum socket here. I want to say that's a 12 millimeter. Well, that's just odd. What in the world? There's 12. Nope, not a 12. Not a 10. It's a 7/16. What in the world? Why is there a standard size on an Ambassador? I'll never know. But anyway, let's take it apart. Pretty nice looking reel. It's got some rash on it. Like I said, I'm going to fish it, so I don't care. I'm trying to order upgrades for it, so I'm taking it apart, and it's probably going to be weeks before I put it back together. I'm actually going to put the parts into a tub and put it on a shelf with my other misfit reels that are waiting on parts. But I want to videotape taking it apart so I know how it goes back together, and it should make a nice little video. That is stuck. That's pretty good stuck there. Look how fast that WD-40 works. This handle's pretty much done. It's bent, it's wore out. I might could fix this, but it's honestly probably just going to go into a baggie. My market 7000, and I'm going to replace several parts on this reel. It's going to get an upgraded drag. I may try to upgrade the bearings. This should be a bushing reel from what I've read about it and the schematics I've seen. I don't have my schematics down here. There again, I printed them off and didn't bring them down. But this will go in my rotation of reels I might fish with, you know, do some pier fishing with it, surf fishing. Nice looking reel, other than the typical reel rash, you know. Probably from getting thrown around in the back of a truck or car or something. Thumb screws were pretty tight, but I didn't want to horse them around with a wrench. Okay, so it's got 4 flyweights. We'll go ahead and take those off before we lose them. That's pretty cool. So to adjust the cast, you could take a flyweight off or a couple of flyweights off. It's got some old grease on it. We can polish these up, super tune it a little bit, and it'll run just fine in those bushings if that's what it's got. Yep, it's got bushings in it. So let's tear into the this side over here, you got a tension adjuster comes off. And inside of there, there's a felt, pretty standard on these, and a couple of shims. Okay, so we're gonna keep that all right there. Everything looks to be in really good shape. There's a snap ring there that I can take off and knock that bushing out. I haven't been able to find any information on a direct replacement for these bushings. I may have to measure them, but I've heard they're a very odd size, and it makes it a little difficult to find bearings. And you know, it's not the end of the world. I don't think I'm going to be surf casting this reel by any means, so the may not be a necessary thing at all. And so once we get these screws out, it's a 3-screw. That dates it a little bit. And you see, I don't like that screwdriver going in there. We're going to use one of the Harbor Freight or Pittsburgh. It's a 3.0 by 225 straight blade. It's a large eyeglass screwdriver is what it is. I didn't pay much for the reel, so I don't mind spending a little bit in upgrades. I didn't pay anywhere near what even just a good used working condition reel like this would go for, so not overly concerned about putting a little bit of money in it, and I'm not overly concerned in fishing with it because it doesn't have any collector value to it left. It's kind of skinned up, you know, and because of that, I'm just not too concerned about it. Alright, see how that works there. Okay. We're going to leave that bait clicker in there. I don't see any point in pulling that out. But I am going to push the bushing out. Now I'll measure these bushings. I believe they're both the same. They are rounded. We are going to pull this gear off, clean in behind it, clean the shaft, slicking it up. I don't think I'm going to CT convert this reel. I think I'll leave it with the level line. There's no shims. It's just got a bushing in it. It'll clean up nicely. So that's pretty much it for this side of the reel. I mean, I realize I could take this off if I wanted to, but I don't really see any point in it. It'll clean up. I can clean up underneath it. It does, well, it doesn't really slide. This slides. So, yeah, I think I'll leave that alone. Over here, it's pretty much your standard Ambassadeur setup. You've got a keeper that comes off. We'll rotate that level line pawl over here. I may pick up a new pawl for it. They're available. I think pretty much all the parts are available for this reel. So we'll take that off of there. I'll pull the pawl out. Just gunky. I may not even need to be replaced. I'll pull the worm out. That's really nasty. And then your tube comes out and your level line. And that all just needs a really good cleaning. There's no shim down in there. Some bait casters have that shim, some don't. The frame's in really good shape. I think the chrome's gonna clean up nice on it. That's all for that. Let's take a look at this side. We'll take the tension adjuster off. It's the same as the other side. It's going to have a felt to hold the oil in there. And you're going to have a couple of shims that are of a pain to get out. And there went one to the floor. We'll find that in a little bit. I think I got extras if I can't find them. Okay, well, let's put 2 on the floor. It's good. Let's see if I can get one of them out without flipping it into the floor. They're stuck in there with some grease, is the problem. There's one. Let me take just a second to find those so I don't roll over them with the chair or whatever. I see one. There's one of them. Haven't found the other one yet. Well, we got one missing. And I don't know where it might have gone to. I have found that this workbench can make parts disappear somehow or another. I have no idea. Well, I'll find it in a little bit, I reckon. Not like I said, I think I got some more. Alright. I just don't want to run over it with the chair. Might mess it up. One of these days I'm going to figure out where these parts are going to in this house, in this room. Okay, let's take the, once again we're going to have to go with that really fine screwdriver from Harbor Freight. Yep. And this should just split apart. There's a plastic piece that's up in there. That bushing can come out. And it's going to be the same size as the other one. And that's everything on the top, or on the drive side cover, I should say. Now over here, that piece is solid. It's one solid piece. You got, pay attention to how your pawl, anti-reverse pawl, goes on that post. I might be able to. The pinion fell out on its own, but I kind of know where that goes. Let's take the drive gear off so we can kind of see how it all goes together. Okay, let's lay it all out here. So this one has the drag stack that I ordered today, so I feel pretty good about the parts I've got on the way. Nothing wrong with this drag stack. It doesn't look like it's even been slipped. I'll be honest with you. It's in really good shape. It goes beautiful shape, actually. I will definitely keep these drag washers. It's got another drag washer on the underneath of it here. We'll try to, and I know my set that I ordered today comes with this drag washer also. Okay, so we got that off. It's been taken care of, you know. It's a nice looking reel. Okay, now we can go back. And as normal, my channel, I don't normally take all this apart. I can clean that in my ultrasonic and it will be completely free of all that mess. There's the pawl. I don't think this probably could come apart further, but I'm not sure there's any value in doing that. I can clean all that pretty good. So I do see a shim down here on the post like they normally have. I actually have some of these shims around here. And so I'm looking at this. I went to try to order a handle today, and I was told that the 7000s won't take the same handle as a 6500 or whatever. So I'm not sure why that is. I'm looking at this thinking that looks the same to me, but maybe it is bigger. But here is the reel. I'm going to clean it up tonight, and if it will take the same handle as a 6000, I've already got a handle for it. I just got a handle in, as a matter of fact. I think it's right here. Let's look at it and see. I gotta go mix this in here. Something tells me it's the same. No, it's just slightly bigger. I could make it work, but it is slightly bigger. That would be really simple to modify. I'm not gonna lie, I could have that modified in just minutes. It's just slightly bigger in this diameter right here, but it's the same lengthwise. Does that make sense? Well, maybe off just a little bit. Yeah, I may have to do an all-around filing on that thing. So let me think about that before I go tearing up a brand new handle that I ordered for another reel that I've got on hold waiting on parts up here for. So I'll come back to that. But anyway, there it is, tore down. I'll be back with the assembly and upgrade video when I get that far. Oh, before I take off, let's measure some bearings. So I have it on video what size the bearings are, because I'll get to work tomorrow and I'll forget. I hear these are oddballs. So your OD, let's just say it's 10 millimeters on the OD. Thickness is 4 millimeters. Looking good so far. I think I got bearings in stock for this. And your shaft diameter is saying slightly over 3 millimeters. So that may be where the problem is. So I'll keep that in mind when I go looking through my bearing supply over here. Anyway, I'll be back. This is John. I'm back. Been waiting on parts to come in for this reel, and you'll notice I've got my drill chucked up. Okay, so this reel is an older 7000. It comes with the brass bushings, and I wanted to change it to bearings. I ordered these from Boca. They're ABEC 5s. They're not 7s. I couldn't find 7s in this size. There's the part number. I believe those are ABEC 5s. There's part number, if you can see it there. I've measured and ordered, okay? But the center hole on these bearings is just a little bit tight. So, especially right in there, it might be all right. But we're going to polish it up just a little bit and get them to fit just a hair bit better. And so, just like I would super tune a non-roller bearing reel, a ball bearing reel, you know, I'll take some emery cloth and kind of clean the whole thing up. And we'll see how they fit. Yeah, that's perfect. So we're going to leave that end alone. We'll put this end in. Don't chuck it real hard now. And then we're going to go with this. So on these bearings, they listed two internal IDs, internal diameters for what? Well, they don't list them. They don't list anything for this reel. I just measured and ordered. But there was one that was slightly larger and one that was slightly smaller. I went with the slightly smaller, and I'm glad I did that because they're going to fit really nice and tight. That might be a little too tight, but we'll get it. You know, it is what it is. That spool seems to spin pretty true. Probably could use some metal polish and do a little bit better. I'm also going to, that's going on. There we go. That is perfect. That's perfect. You really want that to fit nice and tight up on there. That's perfect. So we'll call that a win. Let's make sure I didn't scar up the other end here any. I doubt I did. So I'm upgrading the bearings, which you see that. I'm going to upgrade the handle. I'm going to upgrade the drag washers. The drag washers are, I hope they fit. I haven't tried them yet. I ordered these from Mike's Reel Repair. I think they're out of Canada. And these are SMO CRB 7000. Carbon Tech 7000s. The original drag, really nothing wrong with it. I just like the Carbon Techs. I am going to fish this reel kind of heavy. So, there is, they've taped, Mike's taped over the actual Carbon Techs part number, but there it is. So, we'll put those away. The handle, hang on, let me show you something about the handle. So, Garcia doesn't make, well, they do because it's on this reel. This is a Abu Garcia, but it's a cheaper Chinese-made reel. But it came with this handle. That handle fits perfectly on this reel. You've got to use the retainer. Cap doesn't matter, and you can still use the other screw. My handle is messed up, and I wasn't going to use that anyway. I like something with a little more throw to it. Hey, you know, call me what you want. This is a Commodore 77L. Not a bad little reel. I've had it apart. I will eventually find another handle, or I'll find a handle because, let me back up a minute. I contacted Gomexus. Gomexus makes some beautiful handles. Well, Gomexus has developed a handle for the 7000, 9000, 10,000 series, but they haven't produced it yet. So when they produce it, I'll put one of those on and put this handle back on this reel, and I'll sell this to somebody. This is a good freshwater trolling reel, like for the guys that are going after the big striper up here on our local big, huge reservoir. It's, I don't know how many thousands of acres. It's 60 miles from one end to the other. I remember it took me an hour in my bass boat running 65 miles an hour to get from one end of the lake to the other. So, and that's scooting. That's scooting in a bass boat. 65 is getting it. So, that's what I'm going to do to this reel. Let's hope I can remember how to put it together, because it's been literally months since I took it apart. So, let's go after it here. We'll do the level line first. The level line, of course, goes in. You've got your line guide, and I am keeping this. I'm keeping this reel original. I'm not doing a CT conversion. I'm just upgrading the bearings, folks. Don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. I'm not going to destroy this reel. It's a nice old reel, and I do plan on fishing with it. So we're going to go ahead and, I got that upside down. That was just about a boneheaded thing, wasn't it? Let's get it in there right. Get that in there. Okay. All right. There we go. Now I can put the retainer on there, and all will be well. It'll stay where it's at. All right. So there we go. Now I got to take. Oh goodness. I kind of put some things back together just to keep them in order, but it was kind of fruitless. We'll put the pawl down in there. Now the trick to setting that pawl, you see it sticking out, that's not right. Put some pressure on it and turn the gear, and it will fall into place every time. Put some oil down in there, a little bit of oil on those threads. There was no shim in this thing, so we'll put it back on there. Yeah, losing my place here. Okay. All right. Let's do the non-drive side here. All right. Here's your bait clicker in there already. We're going to put the level line gear in there. I do not put grease on those gears. Just don't. Snap that keeper in there. I put oil on it. Now, for all intents and purposes, we can put this plate on there because your spool can slide in from the other side. So we'll put a little bit of, just a dabble do, you know, a little dabba do there on those holes. Oops, get my act together here. And of course it goes on like this. Yes, I know I haven't put that together yet. This is a 3-screw reel. So it's a little bit, it's not the older reel. The older reels had 4 screws. They did away with 1 screw and started putting that post in there, so I'm not too sure that screwdriver's gonna work. Let's go with my Harbor Freight Precision screwdriver. Yeah, they're not bad. They actually work really well for a fishing reel repair. Okay, go out and get you some. They're just perfect for these smaller screws. Unless it's really stuck hard, it'll get them loose without breaking. Okay, I'll leave that out because I might need it. We're going to put a bearing in. Okay. I believe it got this snap ring on this side, so we're just going to kind of push it in by hand. It's going to get felt, go in there, and then got the adjuster. Okay, that's probably going to fight us a little bit to get that in there. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. This is not a reel I would be taking apart out in the field, probably. Just my thoughts on that, you know. And yes, it is going to fight a little bit, but there we go. That noise should go away when we get it all together. I'm going to go ahead and put my fly weights in there. I'm putting all 4 in until I get a chance to cast it and see how it does. I did not oil those bearings. Maybe I should have, I don't know. Easy enough to do. I take the other cover off and oil them. Or the tension adjuster. All right, make sure those don't fly out of there when you get ready to put it all back together. Okay. Now over here on this side of the reel, I sprayed this down with Ballistol, and I normally do that on these Ambassadors. I don't take each little individual lever and spring apart and try to grease and put back together. I just don't do that. So yeah, shame on me, I guess, but this Ballistol has worked really well for me. Ballistol was developed in Germany, I want to say during World War I, and was used on their firearms. The German soldiers used on their firearms. I may be wrong. You can look the history up online. Double check me, correct me, I don't care. If we got any fact checkers in the crowd, go for it. And so this has got to go. Okay, let's just do this. There we go. So it goes, your pinion gear goes in like that. We're going to go ahead and pop. Well, let's do it with a screwdriver. We'll pop one. Well, maybe we're not. There we go. Pop one. Pop the other. Now it puts it all back in place. You get a washer. Goes down on the shaft, small copper washer, a little bit of oil there. Now you've got anti-reverse pawl, which goes in right there, but you've got to slide it up on these teeth without bending it. Okay, I don't use grease on this. I just don't. I am going to, well, I'll do it when I get it on there. Also, this reel, I think this reel got sold because it had some issues. I'll show you when I get this. This shaft here was loose, and I was able to go in there and peen it and knock it back to where it should be. I don't know why it was loose, but it was. Now we're into the drag system, the new drag. Let's see if we can make it nice here. We'll go with, I always go with cows with these Carbon Techs. I'm not fighting fish. Well, you know, I might get lucky to fight a big fish, but I don't see the need in going with the dry drag. It's not going to gain me anything. Now the damn washer fell out of there. That wasn't supposed to happen, John. I think I can force it back in though. Let's see what happens. Yeah. No. Yeah. Maybe. No. I don't know. Yeah, I think we got it in there. All right. So you're going to get on this top side, you're going to get Carbon Techs. You get keyed Carbon Techs. With some cows, of course. And then the eared. Some of these, the ears will bend down a little bit. Those look pretty flat, so it doesn't really matter which way you go. If they bend down, I want to say it's Daiwa that does that, but if they bend down, you want them to, no, it's Shimano. You want them to go down or over top of the, or go down towards the gear, what I'm trying to articulate. Then you get the last Carbon Techs, and here's your last keyed washer. Okay, clean my hands a little bit, they're getting pretty nasty here. I'm gonna go ahead and oil this bearing so it can be soaking in. They might need, since they're ABEC 5s, they might need all the help they can get. Now I want to say, what do we got here? Let's see how it's made. I want to say it goes with a convex washer, and then you got a concave washer against it. I wanted to upgrade this but was unable to. Yeah, let me get some oil on that shaft. That'll help it. Definitely help that. But they don't really, nobody makes a bearing that'll work that I found. And that plastic bushing has a tab on it that goes, it actually goes in after we put the top on. Okay, so I think we're ready. We'll put a little bit of grease here, grease here. We'll put the top on. Got 2 screws. I hope I haven't forgot anything. Who's screaming at the camera right now saying, "You dummy, you left this out, or you did that," or whatever? I usually leave something out. My channel is the take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5, unedited channel. I don't care. I'm human, man. There's a reason why when I get through fixing an engine, I make sure everything runs right on it. I'm human. We all make mistakes, right? So I think we got that. This will go in like that. Okay, and you got your, I'm going to go with oil. I'm not going to put grease on that plastic bushing. Over here, so I'm replacing these, and there's no snap ring on this top one, folks. There's no snap ring. It gets this Teflon or this felt washer. I've already oiled those. I'm gonna put them back in there. We'll put a little bit of little dab of grease right there to protect those threads, and we'll push that felt washer up in there. All right, we can put the drag on, or the drag knob, drag star, put that on there. I have the part number for this handle. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can find it for you. I think I've got the paperwork right up here. So that Commodore, the correct part number, if you can find one, I couldn't find another handle. I was just going to go ahead and order one so I could keep the other reel together and sell it. Is, may have done something wrong down there on the drag, but we'll see. Is, sorry, 22400 is the handle part number. And you would also need 22354, which is the keeper. I'm not too sure if I've got, well, that's a different reel, never mind. Ain't no wonder that one doesn't match up with what I'm working on. Let's get the one out that goes with the reel. So let's just look at it here. Yeah, I got that one together, right? Okay, good. I'll leave that right there in case I need it. All right. Back on the track. You got to see my bald head there. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's tightening down. The next step is the handle washer, which goes down towards the drag. And your handle, we're going to use the, well, hold on a second here. I got an E-clip to put in. Okay, and then you get handle nut. I'm using the chrome one. I had a black one I could have used. I had the chrome. I think the chrome looks looks the part with this reel a little bit better, you know. And we'll tighten it down pretty good here. And I believe it's this one right here goes on there. So I need to tighten it down just a hair bit more to get that to clear. Okay. I don't want to slip. It goes on like that. I might have went a little too far. Let's see. Trying to get that whole line up. So I went too far. Let's back it off just a little bit. Can't seem to get it just in the sweet spot there. What am I doing wrong? Let's leave that out. It's like either there or there. It's not where I need it. So let's just see what I got to do here. I'll get it here in a second, folks. What I need to do is just get it to move with it on the nut, but I can't get my pliers on there. Yeah, that's pretty close. There we go. And I'm going to put the original screw for that handle into this one. It just finishes it off. It looks a little better. There's the handle, the screw for the other reel. It's got the cheaper look to it. Okay, so really all there is left to do, I'm going to take some well, I'll just clean this like this. Take care of that. Don't forget you've got your centrifugal weights on there, so if you tip this thing around any, they're going to fall out on you. So, oh, hold on. Just a dab of, whoops, dab of grease on the studs. And there it is. Let's see if it works. Be a huge victory, wouldn't it? I haven't seen anywhere advertised what bearings you can change out for those bushings. I just did my own homework and found them. Nobody could seem to give me an answer about it, so I don't really know. Yeah, I like it's got a line out clicker on it. Or it tells you when you're not gaining lines, what it does actually. So I've got the spool way too tight. Actually, I think this side can just go all the way down. And then this. Let's see how. Well, I mean, it probably ain't any better than the bushings, to be honest with you. That's still too tight. Yeah, that's just about right. I don't know. I kind of like it. Let's see how the drag does. Oh yeah. It's got plenty of drag. Well, isn't that something? I built a reel. I'm just trying to figure it all out, but there it is. Can't beat it. Well, I've got some bushings to put away. I've got a reel I can use. That's a older Garcia 7000. It's not a C, it's not anything, it's just a 7000. So I've got plans for it to use it. This is my first 7000. I've never owned a 7000, a 9000, or a 10000. Serial number is 800401. What I'm thinking is this is made in April of 1980, and it's revision 2, because revision 1 would be a 0 at the end, so it's revision 2. That's what I think it is. Anyway, thanks for watching the channel. I'm gonna hold that's those bearings for you Ambassador guys that want to switch the bushings out. They're ABEC 5s, they're nothing fancy. Ordered them straight from Boca. I measured and ordered. They'll fit. So there it is. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you later.